All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Dorsey, NorCal, Young Rich, welcome in, everybody. Express, welcome in. Carolina, everybody's here this morning. Welcome. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's a beautiful Monday morning with some spookiness in the charts. And it's a little early for spooky season, but there is some things I'm seeing on the S&P that I'm not a huge fan of, and we'll talk about that today. We're going to go over some charts on particularly Nvidia, right? Some weakness on semiconductors, which is getting me a little bit spooked, but we'll talk about it, right? We will discuss everything. And again, this is a potential moment where we could see some market shifts and some downside moves. Let's talk about it. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's 8:34 a.m. It's beautiful Monday, August 18th. It's a nice Monday morning, right? So, first of all, one other thing. I want to show you guys something. You know what I'll do? I'll save it for next session. But I'm going to go over my YouTube dashboard in a minute. What I'll do is I'll do it tomorrow. And we are going to go over the plan for our September giveaway, because we're going to do a big giveaway in September, bigger than all the previous giveaways, and I want to explain what my plan is for that. So tomorrow we'll do it. I was going to do it today, but I actually don't have the tab open right now, and if I go to log in, you guys are going to see my information when I log in, so let's not do that. We'll save it for tomorrow, and I'll have it prepped and ready to open. So anyway, guys, first of all, welcome in. Let's dive into it. We have a lot to go over this morning. SPY, we'll talk about what's going on here in SPY's chart. SPY is strong. It's still maintaining levels, right? I mean, it's in channel, okay? It's kind of the theme of today's session. The sort of just the description of this whole video is basically SPY's in channel, right? The SPY is stuck in a major channel with a channel high and a channel low. We're going to talk about that channel high and channel low today, okay? We are going to go over charts like the ES, of course, right? Obviously, same thing. We'll go over ES's chart. We'll go over the QQQ chart. Q's back at major demand this morning. 576 is your clear pivot, right? And of course, the market's still bullish, but we are at that level again, okay? And that's basically the theme of today's session is, hey, we're bullish, but what would make us not bullish? And we are right there, okay? 576 is that bull bear pivot, and we're sitting right at that level this morning here on Monday, okay? So we'll talk about that in a minute here on Q's. We are going to go over the SMH today, because the SMH, in my opinion, is doing something that I don't like, and this may cause some movements on the overall market. Now, I'm not calling a short-term top here on Nvidia or on semiconductors, but I am saying let's watch out for it because we could see it. This is where you would expect. This is what you'd expect to happen here at a short-term top. So let's see what happens today here on Nvidia on SMH and see sort of if this turns into that head and shoulders, which could cause more downside on the overall chip sector. So a big watch this morning is going to be SMH under these 293 lows, and that's something that's going to impact the rest of course, the market, right? We're going to go over our Tesla chart. Tesla doing nothing. We're going to talk about Apple. Apple actually still is a beautiful bull chart. So even if the market does sell off today, Apple I am watching for bounces, right? And you guys know why I'm watching for bounces, because this is a chart with an overextension period high without pulling back and pushing in a swing low, right? So this is a chart we're just simply going to look for swing lows to set up, and we'll look for demand at 221, demand 216. So Apple is still very much so a long chart this week, and we can keep an eye out on this one for longs. Okay, we'll go over Google as well. Google back at the previous all-time highs, double top highs here at 206. We'll go over Microsoft, Meta, the whole lot this morning, and we'll have a nice beautiful Monday morning. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take a second and talk about the economic side of this week. In terms of economic data for this week starting August 18th, today's session we had the housing market index at 10 o'clock. That's it. Nothing else for today's session. Now, coming into tomorrow's session, we have housing starts and permits 8:30. Then Wednesday's session, we have FOMC minutes. FOMC minutes, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, FOMC minutes has become a very important day in terms of price action. We've seen aggressive trend days in both up days and down days here on FOMC minutes. Be careful on Wednesday. I will talk about my plan on Wednesday, okay? Thursday, August 21st, we have PMI, existing home sales, jobless claims, and something that is missing here on Thursday is going to be where is it? On Thursday session, where is it? Do we see it here? We don't see it here because Market Watch is slacking big time. Anyway, both Market Watch and Econoday slacking big time. What's on Thursday? Thursday is Jackson Hole. Okay, so Thursday, we are going to have some more data. Jackson Hole, if anybody kind of wants to understand what it is, it's an economic summit where all these people conglomerate in one small little town in Wyoming. I think it's Wyoming, right? And there's going to be a lot of data that's released on Thursday session. Not data per se, but words. A lot of words released on Thursday, okay? Friday, look at Friday, 10 o'clock, Jerome Powell, and that is all we have for our week ahead of us, okay? So my video is gigantic, absolutely. Let's size it down. Bam, now we are at a normal size here. And hold on a second. Bam, okay, there we go. Beautiful, now we're good. So now we are at a normal size here on my face, okay? On the earnings report side for this week, we have Monday session. We have nothing. Palo Alto, maybe if you're watching Palo Alto, PANW. Tuesday session, we have Home Depot, HD. And then on, someone said, Brett, why do we got to see you? You don't have to see me technically. You don't have to see me. But for whatever reason, I'll tell you guys this. For whatever reason, if your face is showing, you get more views. Don't talk to me about it. Talk to somebody else. It's just what it is. Okay, Tuesday, Home Depot, HD. After hours on Tuesday, we have Toll Brothers, TOL, which is a construction company. And then Wednesday session, we have Target, TGT. And then also Wednesday session, you have TJX, Baidu. Thursday session, you have Walmart, WMT, and Zoom, ZM on the after hours here. Zoom on the after hours on Thursday session. Okay, so that's what we have for the economic docket. Nothing crazy, guys. It's not crazy. It's mostly retail names and a lot of like that Russell, a lot of IWM names reporting earnings this week. Okay, that being said, charts. So on the chart side, I want to spend all of today's session, all of the next 25 minutes on charts. And the first chart to start off the chart analysis is going to be SPY. Okay, so what's happening on SPY right now? Basically, for the last 3 days in a row, we have sat in a period of consolidation, a period of uneventful moves higher, uneventful moves lower, right? And today's session, we must understand where our levels are, okay? Our level above us is simply 546. You can see the channel high, the channel high, the channel high, and of course, it's still the channel high. And below us, we formed a channel low at 641.50, 641.50, and of course 641.50. Now, there is an argument that there is a short today under 642.50, which is our Friday's lows. But for me, I don't really like trading anything short until I see this break, right? So for me, this is the channel I'm watching. The channel high being 646 and the channel low being 641.50. If you want to see a big market move today, you want to see one of two things happen. Of course, again, you probably already know it. Either one is going to be a break and hold above that 646, which causes upside in the market, right? Look for upside above these highs for a continuation play. Or you could look for us to fail back lower, right? And the fail back lower play is going to be under 641.50, under these lows over here, these Thursday's lows here, a break and retest of these Thursday's lows for a downside move. And the question is, if we do see us break down today under this channel, yes, we should see some continuation, but how far should we be selling off into on the S&P? In my opinion, it shouldn't be massive because we still have some levels down below, okay? You have booby traps down below. The first booby trap down below is 639. And this is your previous all-time high here in SPY. So if you do see the market do this today, right? You see the market fail back under 641.50. You want to go short because Brett said go short under these 641.50 lows. You go short, break, retest, downside move. oh my God, you're green. You're nice and green. Wow, you're really green now. Wow, let's add size to it. Bam, smack in the face with the textbook. Okay, you don't want this to happen. This is your first booby trap here on SPY. 639 is your previous pent-up demand, your previous all-time highs. You can see 639, 639, 639. This was an after-hours push. Again, 639, 639, 639. So if we do pull back to 639 today, even though you may be short back under these Thursday's lows, you are still looking for longs back at 639 today. That's just my view. Okay, my view basically is look for shorts under these lows between the gap from here to here, but then look for longs back at demand here. And what's going to cause us to massively sell off is if we somehow get back under these lows. If you see us back under 639, that, in my opinion, is where we shift from a bull market back down into a short-term bear market. I'm not saying bear market on a larger time frame. I'm saying bear market on a shorter time frame, in which case we can see a move back down into 620s or lower. Okay, so my view is bullish as long as we are above 639. You can scalp it for shorts under these Thursday's lows and look for a target play back into these lows over here. And if you see us lose 639 for whatever reason, then you do not go long the market, because we're probably going to go back down into these lows over here, right? That's what I'd be targeting. The reason why I'm saying these lows over here is because of this, right? I'm not just making numbers up. I'm saying if we see us under 639, what would that mean for the market here? If you see us under 639, that means we just failed this major trend line, which is one thing, right? But we not only failed the major trend line, we now have set us to do this. You have a high, you have a low, a high, a low, a high, a low. And if we form a low here at 639, still bullish, even though we broke trend line. But if you see us lose this low, then we shift bearish. And at that point, you're looking for lower highs, and you can look for the whole move down, back down into these lows over here. And why are these lows so important? These lows are so important because that's what started the uptrend. Okay, this is the start of the uptrend. Therefore, if you do see us break here, we're going to go there. And if you want any proof of why that's going to happen, well, go back over here from this uptrend, right? Look at this for a second. Look at this for a second right here. You have a start of an uptrend here, okay? High, low, high, low, high, low, high. Oh shit, where did we go to? The start of that uptrend. Markets love to move back to the start of those trends. So if you do see us back below 639, I argue we go back down to 619.50. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here on the SPY chart. Then that's all we have to know about this session. Okay, on the ES chart, it's the same thing, guys. On the ES chart, this is what I'm watching today. Here on ES, you can see we are still above demand zones here. There is no reason to say it's 9:33 in the morning, 9:33 a.m., 3 minutes, 90 seconds in the market open. Someone math that out. 180 seconds in the market open, right? Someone was about to correct me. I know someone was about to correct me in the chat. 180 seconds in the market open, whatever it is, right? Math it out. I'm not mathing it out. I'm not here to do math. 3 minutes in the market open, okay? 3 minutes in the market open. You're there. You're full port, 0 DTE puts. No, don't do it, right? What I'd be watching out for today on the ES chart. It's too early for math, guys. Is this level right here? Bam, 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 bam. Okay. If we are above this level, we are still bullish. If you see us back under these lows, which again would be your 641.50, then we move back lower, right? And we see us sort of sell off into that 639 SPY, or on ES's chart, 64.30. The equivalent of SPY 639 is 64.30 ES. Therefore, under these lows, 64.60, it's going to ignite that sell-off back down into 64.30. But of course, you're not going to be short into that demand zone, because this is still a big level to watch out for longs, okay? And then obviously, right, you guys know this, if you lose a 64.30, or in this case, a SPY 639, then you see us back down into these lows over here, which you know where that is in your ES chart. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing right now in ES and SPY. I'm seeing us still bullish, but we are back down, testing that same demand zone below. The question this morning, the question for Monday is, do we do this today? Do we see us under demand, downside, or do we see us maintain demand and work back higher? So this is what we should be looking for today's session. Keep an eye out, right? It's Monday. This is the most important part about Monday, the most important thing to do on a Monday morning. If you're a swing trader, if you're a long-term trader, if you're a day trader, if you're a scalping trader, whatever it is watch the open. Watch the first 30 minutes of market open today. The first 30 minutes of market open, the first hour of market open is going to tell you most of what we need to know about this week, okay? Keep an eye out for the first hour, okay? Qs. On the QQQ chart, again, it is very similar to SPY. You can see here, look at the chart. It's right in front of you. It's right in front of you wearing neon yellow vests, okay? You can see 576, 576. Where are we right now this morning on the Qs? 576. Therefore, if we are above 576, we are not shorting this market right now, okay? This is the hold spot on Qs that we must maintain. If we are above 576, we're going to go higher back into 583. If we lose 576, we're going to go lower into 572. And 572 would be the same thing as at SPY 639 area, okay? So likewise, if you see us under 576 today, the break under 576 should ignite the selling into 572. And I argue this is going to be a very quick move under these lows. But the bounce area is still on the Qs is 572. So watch 572 support. But if you're looking for shorts today, look for a little cute move here under 576, break and retest downside play for a move back into 572, because that would be a nice short today. But of course, we can't go short back into these double top highs, because as of right now, these levels are still maintaining as technical supports. And we must be aware of these things going into our Monday morning. Okay. That being said, how many people do we have here this morning? We have 1,000 people, 1,013 people, and 332 likes, which is very, very bad. Guys, get the like count up. I'm here every morning, Monday to Friday. I think this is that should deserve 500 likes every morning. Okay, I'm gonna get some hydration, and let's dive into it. So, what I want to do is I want to go over the first chart of today's session, the first individual ticker of today's session. The first one I want to go over is going to be SMH. Okay, so I know I said it would be a ticker, but SMH is still kind of an ETF. But there's one thing I want to talk about here in SMH. What I'm seeing right now on the SMH is a very typical, a very classic wham. Okay, you have a break above 597, 596, 597. You have a high built out over here. You have a breakout here, right? And then you're seeing us break out above those highs, continuation trades, and then fail back below. The problem right now on the SMH is that we are underneath a big level here, 296. Okay, and every trend works like this. So you have a trend that works like this. You have uptrend, consolidation, uptrend, pullback, uptrend, pullback, uptrend, pullback. And eventually what's going to happen is you see it shift into head and shoulders, right? And then you see downside begin under that sort of that little neckline. And that's where you shift back into a downtrend. Okay. But as of right now, it's still in an uptrend until this happens. Okay. And if you look at this sort of view here on this little drawing, it's basically what's going on here on the SMH. You have a chart that's uptrending, high, low, high, low, high, low, and we are forming what we would consider a head and shoulders here. Now, here's the thing on the SMH. Either we break above 297, which is these highs over here, and we invalidate the head and shoulders, and we see a breakout continuation trade higher, which would be bullish, or we see us back under our golden level, our 293 golden zone here on the SMH. And this is what's going to iron in the downside, and it's going to confirm the downside on the overall market, right? So under 293 for shorts, back down into 288, this would be your head and shoulders playing out, or a invalidation of the head and shoulders above 297 and back into highs. The SMH is going to make a move this week. And I think if you are watching anything in the market, SPY, Qs, yes, you have to be acutely aware of what's going on with the semiconductor sector, because semis have been what's led the market rally for the past few months. If you see semis begin to fail and fade, this is what's going to cause downside on the overall market. So watch semis this week, right? And I'm not saying we're bearish here on semis yet. We're not bearish. I just see signs of caution, right? Because if you see us right back above 297 today, on Tuesday morning, you're going to see me Tuesday morning at 8:30 say, guys, we're back bullish again. right? Because this could happen, right? We could reclaim this 297 and then shift back into a bull case thesis here on semis. But as of right now, let's be aware of the possible fading here of semis. Under 293 is what causes that to sort of be confirmed, right? Moving on. So that's SMH, and here in Nvidia, you can see things looking also the same way, right? You can see things looking the same way. You have a very clear level here, a line in the sand on semis on Nvidia, 184, 184, 184, 184, 184. There is something deep within NVIDIA, right? That's keeping NVIDIA under 184. And you know that's your clear as day pivot, okay? Now, on Friday's session, I shorted NVIDIA. I'll show you where I shorted NVIDIA. I shorted NVIDIA under 170, 180. Under 180, I shorted NVIDIA. I went short right here. I went short right here in NVIDIA at, what was this, like 1030, 1025, 1030. I showed NVIDIA right there. I got a downside move into right there. And that was my day on Friday. I made a whopping, ready for this, 6%. I made 6% on this. I think I made like 11, 12% downside. And then I got stopped at a runner as it basically break even. So my net average return was about 6% here in NVIDIA. You can laugh at me all you want, but you know what? At least this was a trade. You can see beautiful breakdown, pull back to your retest level, fail below retest level, and move almost into low day. Now, granted, wasn't a beautiful trade, but this still was a good trade on Friday afternoon. Now, or Friday morning rather. But this morning here in NVIDIA, the question becomes, how do you trade it today? Well, today's session, I'm actually watching for two things. First thing I'm watching for is going to be a breakdown under our Friday's lows. Under Friday's lows for shorts. I've removed my 179 level, and I've now sort of I'm looking at a breakdown under Friday's lows for shorts. Likewise, there's one other thing I'm watching, and this is a little bit different, but I'm watching for a break and fail here. Okay, I'm watching for a break and fail in NVIDIA. If I see NVIDIA break above 184 and fail below, I'm looking for shorts. If I see NVIDIA under 178.50, I'm looking for shorts and a downside move. Shorts here, shorts there. I'm watching for both of these plays today. Now, granted, there is a possibility NVIDIA just does this. If NVIDIA just does this and holds, I'm not shorting that. I would only short this. This would be my short, a break and fail below, shorting the retest of that failure for a downside move. Or I would be shorting this for a downside move under our Friday's lows. If we lose Friday's lows, I'm looking for downside back down into these 170 area here on NVIDIA. Now, granted, if you see NVIDIA breaking down under Friday's lows, you're probably going to see a lot of other things happen in the market. Okay, you're going to see a lot of other downside moves, a lot of other Q selling, SPY selling, ES selling, right? So there's going to be other names to short besides just NVIDIA downside. But watching NVIDIA under 178.50, 178 for shorts back down to 170, this is a solid watch going into our Monday morning. Okay. Moving on now, on the AMD chart, AMD is completely different because AMD, you can see here, we have a beautiful breakout above 180, upside above 180, and then now at this point, we are just in the midpoint in a channel. I do not want to be trading AMD in between this channel. In between this channel is a no-fly zone for me, right? This is a no-fly zone. In the no-fly zone, I do not want to be touching anything until I'm either above 180, I'm over the 30,000 mark, or the 30,000 foot mark here on AMD. Above 180 is your reclaim level for longs. If I see that happen, go long. Or if I see us pull back to my 168 level, I would look for longs here at 168. But again, I don't plan to trade AMD in between 180 and 168. That is a $12 no trade area, no fly zone here on AMD in between this range. Okay, and the reason why is because this is a major channel and I've seen it set up again and again and again and again. So I know not to play with it until it's either above 180, right? Some sort of reclaiming move, or I pull back to 168, which would be a long trade here on AMD. Okay, watching those two things on AMD's chart. Okay, moving on. Avgo. I mean, to be honest with you guys, most of these chips are just waiting to see what our chart on Nvidia does and what SMH does. So Avgo is doing nothing. You have your what else do we have here? TSM. TSM doing nothing as well. TSM has been sort of in ranged. INTC. Intel was beautiful. If you guys longed Intel with me on, I think I longed it on Wednesday's session. I longed Intel. I longed Intel right here at 22 on Wednesday, the 13th. A little bit under, I think I longed it around 21.8 here. So I longed it right over here on Wednesday session, and then it rallied into our Thursday, Friday. I sold majority in the Thursday and Friday, and right now I'm holding some longs here in Intel. But I know Intel is waiting for news right now. Intel is just a stock waiting for a headline to react to. Intel is a very algo-driven stock right now. The reason why I'm saying that is because the market is anticipating news. Intel specifically is anticipating news this week. And as soon as Intel gets that news, all these algos are sitting ready to respond, right? And it's either going to be, I'll tell you this right now, you're going to see this, you're going to see a fat red candle like this, a fat red candle just like this, or sorry, green candle just like this, or you're going to see a fat red candle just like this. And the question is, how do you know which way it's going to go? And my answer to you is we don't know which way. So that is why I sold majority into my highs. Now, if it loses under 24, I'm probably just going to sell the rest of my shares and walk away for a nice gain. If we maintain 24, I'm going to hold this and look for that big green candle to save my day. But again, I expect news to come in on INTC. I just don't know what it's going to be, because if I did know what it's going to be, I would not be here right now. I would be somewhere far away on an island. Okay, so Intel, expect there to be a big reactionary candle. And I just deleted my alert there. Where's my alert? I want my alert to be there. 24 is my alert candle here. I want to see an alert there at 24. Okay. Moving on. Tesla. Teslita. So Tesla is kind of bad, right? Why is Tesla bad? Tesla is bad because it's not really doing anything. Okay. Tesla has been doing this for a while now. Up and down and up and down and up and down. Now, granted, almost every time I talk smack about Tesla, it tends to do something big the next day. So I'm talking smack about Tesla right now. I hope it does do something big. But what would it need to do for it to be doing something big? For it to do something big, it would have to pull back to 318, right? 318 pullback for long trades. This would be a long entry here, 318, or a break and hold above 338 for a long trade again. A 338 break and hold would get us and move back into 346. So these would be my two long entries: a demand pullback into a key demand zone, or a continuation trade above 338, because should set us higher back into 346. As of right now, this chart is still holding levels, right? Does it pull back to 318? Possibly. 318 is your next big demand zone, so keep an eye out for that, okay? Apple is a bull chart, right? There is nothing about this chart that looks bearish to me. Now, I do expect there to be a pullback, and the pullback, you could short the pullback, sure, but for me, I am waiting for longs at the ends of those pullbacks, right? At those lows of those pullbacks. So for me, my first long on Apple is going to be 221. So for me, 221 is my first long entry. Looking for longs at 221. Looking for longs at 216. Those are my two pullback longs here in Apple. Pullback 1, pullback 2. If you see us back above 234, this would be a break and retest trade, and an upside move is likely, and I would also trade that. So it's my scenarios here in Apple: scenario 1, scenario 2, and scenario 3. Those are the three things I'm watching here on the Apple chart. Very, very bullish chart. Let's look to see if we can get some pullback longs to set up, or a break and hold above highs for continuation trades. Okay. Moving on now. We are moving on. Let's do Amazon. Amazon, big down, big up, right? That's the theme of what's been going on here in Amazon. You can see big down following earnings. You can see the gap fill, right? What did we say about this chart? For a while, we spoke about the gap fill in between this 220 area and 231, 232. There is a reason why Amazon is probably going to be choppy in this zone, right? The reason why Amazon is choppy in the zone right now is because it just filled the gap. Think about this for a second. If you were long Amazon above 220, okay, you longed it above 220. We spoke about this for a while here in the pre-market. Above 220 was your long spot. What are those long buyers, those equity buyers, those dip buyers at Amazon going to be doing now that we're back at the gap fill? They're going to be taking profit. Okay, they'll be taking profit. It's not necessarily a bearish thing, though. It isn't bearish. The market's still bullish here in Amazon, but it is a reason why Amazon's going to be choppy and consolidated for a while, because it just met the move. So that's why on Thursday's session, you can see in the close, a little choppy. On Friday session, very choppy. Now, granted, can this make a big move? It still can, but you want to see it above the highs or below the lows. What I'd be watching out for now here in Amazon is I'd look to see, can we get back above 238? If we clear back above 238, that's where things can become, again, heated up for another upside trade. And this would be still very bullish, right? 238 would be a big break above highs here. We can see a move back at 243. But the thing I'd be watching out more than anything this morning here in Amazon would be a 226 bounce, okay? I would want to see us pull back to 226 because that's a big bounce area. You can see these highs over here from Thursday the 7th. If I see us pull back to these highs, I'm looking for longs there. Simply 227 as a demand opportunity here. I'm watching that for longs, okay? Very simple chart. Looking for either a pullback long back to my demand zone, right? Or looking for a very unlikely, but a trade I would take, a hold above 238, a hold above these highs for a long entry back into 242, which is our all-time highs, okay? So watching here on Amazon, those two things, right? We have 1,050 people here this morning, and we have 600 likes. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for that. That means everything. Seriously, thank you very much. Honestly, I know I always talk smack about the likes, but thank you very much for that. That is very kind of you guys. So, moving on. Let's go over a few more tickers. PLTR. This is what you guys wanted, right? This is what you guys wanted. Now, what do you want to see now? What would you want to see going forward here on PLTR? You want to see us turn this 178. Remember I said the 178 level is the most important level here on PLTR. 178 is your level. Look at this. Look at this. 178 is your clear as day level. If we are under 178, what should happen here on PLTR? It should be a deeper pullback. We should see this move here. This red box, which is now yellow. The yellow box. We should see the yellow box price action begin to give up. I would want to see this back in 161. That's where I would want to see us get back into. Why? Because the breakout on very high volume with very little levels placed over here should move back into the breakout zone. 161, this should pull back to. Granted, I don't know if it's going to happen, but what I'd be watching out for is I look to see, can we stay under 178? If we're under 178, we're bearish, downside move back into 161. If you reclaim 178, then this is not good. It probably just goes right back into highs, right? So your clear as day pivot is simply 178. We're bearish under 178 now here at PLTR. This is the first time in a long time that we've seen a break of structure, right? A break of structure. Now you should look for that target play back down to 161, okay? Right, so let's move on. Let's do a few more. There were a few people very patiently asking for a few tickers. Lyft, I think Mike is watching Lyft. I think Aristotle is also watching Lyft. I am not watching Lyft, but if you guys are looking for a target, 17.5 is your target here in Lyft, okay? I did Apple already. I'll do Microsoft briefly. Microsoft, it's, to be honest with you guys, I don't see anything here. I see a crazy channel, and then 518 is your clear pivot. A 518 bullish, 518 bearish. Okay, if we're under 518, we're bearish. If we're above 518, we're bullish. Okay. Netflix, last ticker of today's session, last ticker, and this is probably the worst ticker for me to go over because I hate trading Netflix. I was red year to date Netflix in 2023. I think in 2023, my P&L was like 600K, and my my overall, it was quite a good year. But in 2023, I think I lost like $13,000 on Netflix. So if you're asking anybody about Netflix, it's not me. Don't ask me. Actually, you know what? If I say something about Netflix, just invert it. Okay. So here on Netflix, if you want my my view here on Netflix, for me, I would be looking for 12.6 for rejections. That's it, right? 12.6 for rejections. I look for shorts here at 12.6. 12.6 would be my supply zone. If you push into my supply zone, I'd be looking for short-term rejections there and a downside play. 12.6 for puts. That's it. That's all I'm watching here at Netflix. Okay, guys, that's a perfect way to end the stream. Let's call it there. Let's have a beautiful Monday. Let's have a beautiful week. Enjoy your Monday. Be a data collector. Don't be 9:31 a.m. on full port 0 to SPY. Don't do it, right? Just be patient, right? Wait for the right setups and then execute when they do set up, okay? I'll see you guys all for that trading. Bye, guys.